All right, man, we're gonna try this again. Not sure what happened. Normally they start messing with me when going in a little too hard, but I'll get there. But I apologize for losing the connection, and I'll try to wait for a few of y'all to come on back in. Because this happens from time to time. Not sure why. I have my theories, but not sure why this happens from time to time. Maybe they saw where I was getting ready to go, but we're gonna go there anyway. We'll just call it. We'll just like I say. We'll just call this a quick part two. Part one was like not even 5 minutes long, but we'll definitely let this be part two, and I guess we'll let part one that we did serve as just the introduction, to this topic. And anybody who missed it, I'll just kind of briefly touch on it now, for those who listen later or watch later. But for those of y'all who are popping back in, y'all already heard everything that I said in the little introduction. But we're talking about what is manufactured versus what is authentic. And as I said, I mean manufactured, not meaning just the basic definition of something that was actually constructed and put together and physically formulated. No, I mean something that was formulated for a purpose that does not represent authenticity, but it represents an artificial type of creation that is used for a specific purpose. See, the manufacturing of an artist, what I just got through speaking of, uh, is something that is part of the tool that hip hop has been turned into, that's been used against us, against the artist and against the hip hop fan, to keep us in the dark mentally, to keep us in the dark mentally. So it's agenda driven. So when you talk about something that's agenda driven, you say, "What you mean agenda driven?" That means that there's a motive behind it that is specifically geared for a specific reason. And the question is, what is the agenda? Keep people dumb, deaf, and blind, or to make people dumb, deaf, and blind. Why would somebody want to do that? A lot of people don't believe that's something that is even a possibility. People say that you're crazy. People say that you're talking weird, stupid, and just they don't buy into that because they don't understand the full scope of how the satanic mind works. The satanic mind does not just use the obvious in order to carry out satanic acts. Satan comes from all angles. He comes from all angles. And he will be involved, or he will involve himself in every aspect of life. That's why you hear me talk so much about these types of things, because we can look and just say, well, man, the government's doing this or the government's doing that. And they do it through this means or that means, things that we might view to be right in front of us or the obvious. But then we would look and say, well, now, why would he do that through music? Why would he do it through food? Why would he do it through uh, the hijacking of culture? Why would he do it through uh, changing the narrative of history? See, we don't believe that those things are actually even um, relevant. And we chalk it up to being conspiracy theory. We don't look at it like that. So it's also means of distraction. And we hear that word all the time. Everybody talking about distraction. Oh man, that's just a distraction. That's just a distraction. And in a lot of cases, they're right. In a lot of cases, there are many things that are used to distract us, but it's not just one particular thing that they're distracting us from. And that's a mistake that a lot of people make. People just say, well, man, they're doing that because they want to distract us from focusing on what they get ready to do with the war. Or they make something like that. Or they're distracting us from what they're getting ready to do in terms of with another pandemic or what. I mean, whatever you say, and all that could be absolutely correct. But the biggest distraction, or one of the biggest distractions, is when they take a people and they create distractions. They create things to distract us from the development of ourselves, to distract us from knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and to keep us on a dumbed down level using the things that we do every day, using entertainment, using uh, sports, you know, using simple things that we do every day, and that create, and they twist them in such a way, they distort them in such a way that it makes us degenerate mentally. So when there once was a message in the music, now there's no message in the music. And if there is a message in the music, then that music will be nearly impossible for the people to hear. That music will never see the light of day because it's not part of the dumbing down agenda. And that is one of the things we look at and don't take into any consideration, even as parents, because we'll see a lot of parents that will play certain types of songs around their children, and we'll laugh and dance with it and watch our babies dance and do nasty dances and all this different type of stuff, and we'll think it's so funny and we'll post it online, and all the while we are contributing, we are ourselves contributing to that dumbing down process. We are 100% complicit. See? And the manufacturing of image is one of the biggest problems that we face also today, because we have been led to believe and tricked into thinking that a particular look, a particular look represents success. A particular look represents power. A particular look represents wealth. See? And we've been tricked into believing that a particular look represents self-worth. And we've been made to believe that so much, to the degree that all they have to do is present whatever it is they're going to present from a visual standpoint, and say, this is the hot thing out, the hot person out. And if this is the hot person that's out, this is who's popping right now, this is who we made to be popping right now, then look at what he has on. Look at what she has on. Or in the case of the women, look at what she doesn't have on. This is the look of success. This is the look of power. This is the look of fame. See? And when you own the platforms and have the ability, you own the magazines and the publications, you own the social media platforms, you own the TV networks, you own the radio station, when you have all of this power and all of this ability to present on a large scale these images, and everywhere you turn, you open up the magazine, there's the image. You turn on your TV, there's the image. You go on social media, there's the image. And the image is really not reflective of who we really are. It's actually the opposite. It actually goes against the grain. It actually goes against the grain of nature. So now we've made this guy the most popular rapper in the world. He's the most popular rapper in the world. He's all on the magazines. His music is all on the radio. The songs, everybody's singing the song. We play the song 1,000 times a day. He's ingrained in the conscience of the public, in particular our youth, right? Let's put a dress on him. Let's make him wear some high heels. Let's see how that goes over. We'll put him on the cover of Source magazine. Or better yet, it's going beyond the hip hop publications. We'll put him on the cover of GQ. We'll put him on the cover of Cosmopolitan. We'll put whatever, the so-called big magazines. And we'll have him standing there holding a purse, wearing a kilt, wearing a dress, and we'll say it's a kilt. We'll say, and this is a fashion statement. This is a bold statement that he's making to let everybody know that, hey, I'm secure, and it's freeing anybody who may want to be their real self. See, this is what happens when they manufacture an individual all the way from his craft all the way to his image. They manufacture that, then they instill that, they inject that into our young people and our older people. This is how fashion changes over the decades. This is how it changes. This is how it does. It's like the stock market. They're individuals who manipulate the market. They control how it moves and how it goes. It's the same thing. They're individuals who manipulate and determine what the new trends are gonna be. It's not always the artist. You know, sometimes an artist will come out with his own thing and it'll catch on, but most of the time, man, they're fashion designers and they are label executives and CEOs and all these different people who craft these images and they present them to the public almost in an experimental fashion. Let's just see what we can make these folks do. And more times than not, they typically succeed in bringing us to levels of buffoonery, because it's not just the look, it's also the behavior. See? It's also the behavior. So if the music is being controlled, if the content is being carefully crafted and controlled and shaped, is the word I was looking for, shaped in a way that's going to make the people behave in the way that that content is shaped, we become a reflection of the art. Now the society starts to mirror that kind of ignorance, whatever it might be. It mirrors that kind of madness. It mirrors that fashion. It mirrors those images. It weakens our manhood. It weakens our spirit. It breaks our families up. It creates division between our men and our women. It's manufactured. And that's the thing about it. It's not even real. It's not even a real thing. But the thing that is not real has been made to appear real. So I just go dye my hair green on this side and orange on that side, and just different things that take away from who we are, coupled with the fact that we've already been made to hate ourselves. We've already been made to hate ourselves. If music never existed, if hip hop never existed, we've already underwent a process that has made self-hate in us. And as a result, part of that self-hate is what makes us try to go above and beyond to present ourselves as flamboyant as we can. Because we want to be seen. We want that attention that we feel like we never got. See? So we get fooled by the flash. We get fooled by the flash. I talked about this one other time because it's in the same subject matter. Me and my homie we always have a friendly argument about when Sugar Ray Leonard fought Marvin Hagler. And Marvin Hagler was just a hard-working, no-nonsense, come out when the bell ring, just no playing around. Just he ain't trying to flash and dance and do no splits. He ain't rah-rah into the crowd. He ain't doing nothing. He just coming out, going for your head. Sugar Ray Leonard, on the other hand, even though he was a monster as well, I'm a fan of both men. Sugar Ray Leonard was the real deal, make no mistake about it. That's not what I'm saying. But he was more flashy. And when he fought Hagler, they were both kind of late on in their careers. When he fought Hagler, he played more to the crowd and to the judges. So he would play around and smile and do little antics to make the crowd laugh and, you know, to give the appearance that I'm under full control. He would throw a lot of punches, but not many of them would connect. But the flash and the style that he would throw the punches, it looked so pretty that everybody would be hollering and screaming. But in reality, maybe one or two connected. See? And that creates an illusion that I'm doing more than what I really am doing. And that's kind of the principle that we see existing in society. Everybody wants to create that illusion. And that's one of the things that social media has afforded people the ability to do. Because no matter how broke I might be, no matter how little I might actually have, I can stand in front of somebody else's car and act like I'm just doing it big. I can go to a particular event and just act like, hey, man, I'm at all of the top events. Look at me. Y'all see me. See? I can get my income tax check and make a little money fan with it and act like I'm just, oh, man, look at, we killing it out here. But in reality, you're not. But I can manufacture that appearance. But what do you really gain from that? What do you really gain out of that? Just as an individual, because you know your reality and you know whatever existence that you would actually dwell in and that you have to go back to once you cut off that live. But one thing I was blessed to learn at an early age, man, I was blessed to learn and understand at an early age that people appreciate and respect realness over anything. And when I say people, I don't mean everybody, because if it was everybody, then we wouldn't be having this conversation, because I'm speaking about people who have been fooled by the flash. I'm speaking about people who will be with you for the long haul. People who will latch on to your authenticity and they will ride it out with you forever because they see the realness in you, and they relate to it. And the realness may come in the form of, man, well, this dude, he ain't talking about how much money he got. He's talking about the money he don't have. He not talking about driving cars that he don't drive, that he's never even been inside of. He talking about a Maybach. He's never been inside of one. Wouldn't even recognize one if he saw one, right? See? He's speaking to a reality that more people relate to than the opposite, where I'm talking about being in this particular financial bracket that I'm not in. He's not even speaking to the higher percentage of the population because they're not in it. See? But if somebody tells you, hey man, this is what's in, this is what moves, this is what sells, then you go, I guess I ain't mean to look up on y'all. Let me take these off. They tell you this is what you have to do in order to cater to this particular audience, to cater to this particular demographic. This is what you have to do. Then you go, okay. But when all that comes back around and it gets revealed that that's not who you are, you're not really a gangster. You don't really have millions of dollars. You don't really have all of these vehicles. That's a hard fall. That's a hard fall. You're talking about that which is manufactured versus that which is authentic, y'all. Is that 10? I used to be so fashion conscious when I was young. Tons of Vogue mags and stayed alert to what the hottest trend was. Well, I'm gonna say this. We all fell for that. We fell for it so much to the extent that we would pass up things that we actually liked to our just straight up visible eye. I like these tennis shoes. But because everybody at the school is wearing these, I better get these. I don't even like them. I want to get them because I want to be able to say I have a pair just like everybody else got a pair. But in reality, I like these. But at that age, under that kind of peer pressure, it takes a special kind of mentality and strength to say, I don't care what everybody else is wearing. I'm going to wear these. Now, the people who did that, a lot of times they did it involuntarily because their parents may not have been able to afford the so-called name brand. They had to get whatever they can get, and they dealt with the consequences when they came to school. But I also believe that can take you in one of two directions. It can make you stronger, because to endure what you got to endure when you show up in some non-name brands in the schoolhouse at that age, and you got to do that every day through a whole school year because your family just ain't got it like that. It either motivates you to say, okay, I'm going to do better for myself so one day I can afford to wear the things I want to wear. But you still have to do that in the proper context, because you also have to say, okay, I was motivated by them roasting me but I put myself in a position to have whatever I wanted to have because that's what I wanted to be in position to do, not because I want to try to prove something to somebody. That's the difference. That's the line. That's the thin line. The thin line between being motivated to succeed because you want to succeed, or motivated to succeed because I'm gonna show them. Nah. See what y'all talking about, man. Are advertising executives behind the pandemic and Ukrainian conflict using blue and yellow color psychology to entrain the population? Yes. Well, war is big business. That's one thing we got to always understand when you see these wars and these conflicts break out. And most of the time, this nation, the United States, they got their hand in some form of fashion. So war is big business. That's the first thing. When you talk about the pandemic, however you want to label it, that's also big business because now we're talking about pharmaceuticals and pharmaceutical companies. It's big business. So most of what you see, most of the things that you see being carried out are agenda-based and are money-driven situations. Make no mistake about it. But also, just as equally connected is, I would say, the principle and the act of depopulation. Depopulation. Because both of these things that I mentioned, they serve the purpose of contributing towards trimming down the population, killing people, basically. Let me just say it straight up. So absolutely, and the advertisers are tied in because look, they make money off of, they spend money to be exposed, to be seen on the big networks, to be seen on the big platforms. They spend money to make money. Can't fall for the flash, y'all. Learn to not just look at a thing. I say this all the time. Don't just look at a thing, look into it. Don't just look at something, look into it. And a lot of times when you look into something, you can peel back a lot of layers and see it for what it really is. Joel Lamar says, the point you're making applies to culture in general and is a form of brainwashing. What do you mean it applies to culture in general? I'm just asking a question. The line has been drawn, the conspiracy theorists versus the fake woke. The conspiracy theorists versus the fake woke. Well, they may be intertwined. There may be some interchangeable characters on both sides of both those categories, Mike. Because I feel like one of those that you name, one could be the other, and one could be the other. That's not the war I'm worried about. I'm not worried about. And another thing you gotta understand, like I say, a conspiracy theorist, just because a person may be a conspiracy theorist, depending on what particular conspiracy they are theorizing about, they might not be wrong. See, people hear the word conspiracy theorist and this, oh, he's a nut, he's crazy. Nah, you may be off on your conspiracy theory. It may be far-fetched. Somebody come with some conspiracy theory sometime, it's like, man, this dude he's way off. He's way off in what he's talking about, and he's way off mentally. But some theories are correct. Some theories actually prove to be conspiracy. If I'm making any sense to y'all. Be careful when they present stuff to us, y'all. And we look at it like, wow, this is amazing. This is the next greatest thing. This is what we should be doing. Every wave that comes along, they will tell you, they will implant that in your mind as you watch the commercial, as you watch the show, or whatever it is they're talking about. They'll say, this is the next big thing. You got to get in. You got to get in on this. Like, how will you tell me what I got to get on? I haven't even heard it and seen what it is yet. But they already setting that in your brain. This is gonna be the hottest thing to come out. You don't want to miss this. See? They plant that seed in our mind and get our attention, and we go, They use celebrities to reel the people in, particularly on, unfortunately, things that are most of the time bad for us. They use celebrities to deceive the people. And don't get me wrong, they deceive some of the celebrities to draw them into it. Because the difference between just a famous person and us is just that they're famous. They're known. They have more notoriety. They have gained influence over the people based on what it is they do. Because if someone has inspired you through their art, through their work, through their music, through their winning championships, through certain movies that they've made, and if they've inspired masses of people, then that inspiration translates into influence. So when they have developed influence, then the people who are really in power, they will come along and towards that celebrity and say, hey, man, why don't you endorse my product? I own Coca-Cola, man. We want to sell some more Coca-Cola. So we want you to endorse our product. We're going to make some commercials. I own McDonald's. I want you to help us sell some more of these Big Macs. I want you to be the face of our product. But they also do it on deeper levels. Hey, man, we got to promote this. So we need you, Mr. Superstar, to speak on behalf of this so that your influence will cause people to say, okay, well, he's doing it. It must be the right thing to do. But many of them, just like many of us, are ill-informed about the depths and the details of some of the very things that we endorse. And the same tactics that are used on the masses, they're part of the masses too. So misinformation, scare tactics, all of these different things, outright lies, all these things are presented to the celebrity as well. And they just get out there and they send them out there to do the dirty work. Are there some that know and sell out? Yeah. It's a lot that know that there's some BS, but how much? How much? That much? Oh yeah, I'll say anything for that much. See? Manufactured. Think about food for a minute. You have genetically modified organism food. You have GMO. You have fake food that has overtaken and taken the place of good, authentic, homegrown, uncut, untampered with food. It's taken the place of that. And it's been created, well, I won't say created, it's been made in many cases to be more appealing than the good natural food, right? Y'all gotta follow me on this one because I'm speaking about physical food, but physical food is also just a symbolic term for everything else that's going on. When I say that which has been made that is bad has been made to be better than what's good and authentic. That's everything in life nowadays. But it's absolutely the food as well. So everybody hunting down a seedless watermelon. Ooh, they have seedless watermelons on sale at the grocery store. When the natural process by which a watermelon is grown, just like any other fruit, is through a seed. Just an example. So that's a red flag that you would sell me something or that you would promote something to the people that is not natural, but you present it to be natural. And then that which is natural, you present it to be, nah, you don't need that no more. Nah, you don't need that. That ain't no good. Hey man, y'all hit the like button for your brother, man. We got some disproportion going on in the room, man. Let's get these likes up for your big brother. I always try to get to at least about 100. So if you haven't hit the like button, hit that like button for you. I know I popped in on y'all, but I figured y'all ain't have to go to work tomorrow. Some of y'all didn't have to go to work tomorrow. So I figured y'all, would be up a little late rocking with your big brother around this time of night. So hit the like button if you haven't already. See, this world, man, you have scientists in this world, and I'm talking about wicked, mad scientists. That's who run the world. The world is run by mad scientists. Make no mistake about it. And what the scientists do, they study that which is authentic and natural and real. They study it. And then you know what they do after they study it? They try to figure out a way to replace it. See, think about that. Not improve it, not improve the quality of it. They want to figure out a way to replace it for whatever reason. It could be because you know what? We want to manufacture it. We want to get it out faster because it's taking too long to make the bread. So now we will inject the animals with growth hormone because we got to get it out faster. Everything that is natural, they want to replace it. They want to cheapen it. They want to diminish its quality. And in doing so, they get more productivity, this physical productivity. They make more money, but it negatively affects the people, the consumer. So now you're eating bad, chemical-laced food. Life expectancy dropping, people dying, getting sick from different conditions, overloading everybody with artificial flavors and colors and all this different stuff. Well, we never needed that. Way back, we never needed that. That stuff didn't exist. If you, next time you go to the grocery store, just pick up just something that you want to buy and start read. Make sure you got time where you can just read some ingredients. And sometimes when you read the ingredients, of course, there's going to be these big words that you don't even know what they mean. You can go home and look them up. You might be surprised what they actually are. But sometimes when they'll have the ingredient listed on the package, it will tell you what its function is. It'll say we've added such and such and such as hydrogen, blah, 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 whatever the name, whatever it is, and they'll say for color. We've added this to prevent it from caking. We've added this to prevent. They'll have all these different things, and they'll tell you. Sometimes they'll tell you what the function is, but some of those functions are unnecessary. You got red 40, yellow 5, blue 1. You got all these different artificial colors and all these cancer causing agents that are included in the food, and it's not authentic. Certain things, hey, for taste. It activates the taste buds because that's what we're motivated by. The same way that the body is activated and excited by what tastes good to us and what feels good to us. The eye and the mind is stimulated by what looks good to us. But it ain't always really good for us. See? So they want to replace everything. So somebody put seeds. I saw somebody put seeds not too long ago. I just saw that. So they put seeds in. I'm trying to find what y'all said. GMO seeds. James Drake said that. Or, yeah. So you got the fake seeds. These seeds are not even authentic seeds. Some of them don't even reproduce after themselves. Some of them are one-hitter quitters. You get one little crop out of them, and you can't flip them like a natural seed would be able to be flipped. That's your sign right there. See? Anything that you see from that self-hate quality that we have in us, I don't even call it quality. It's a self-hate. It's just a thing we have in us that has generated these feelings of self-hate that we don't openly admit to. Nobody. I've rarely heard people. I've heard it before, but I rarely hear people just say, "Well, yeah, man, you know, I hate myself, so that's why I do this, or that's why." You don't just hear people say that like that. They don't have to say it because their actions show that they hate themselves for whatever reason. A hell of a conditioning process has been carried out against us. So that can contribute to feelings of self-hate, upbringing, and people saying this about you, talking about your appearance. Like I said earlier, talking about your clothes. If you were not one who was able to afford the so-called best and name brand stuff, that can develop low self-esteem and feelings of self-hate. So to capitalize on our self-hate, the scientists of this world have a replacement for everything. I just told you they can replace natural, authentic food all the way down to the seed, but they can replace body parts, or they can add what we believe to be enhancements to replace your natural look that the Creator blessed you with. So baby girl feel like a booty too flat? Wasn't really nothing you could do about that 80, 90, 100 years ago, I'm assuming. You just look back there, or somebody might say, well, man, you got to do some squats, or there's certain exercise, you got to work out your glutes. There's certain, just gain a little weight and it'll naturally, not no more. You can go somewhere and they will surgically implant a booty structure in your body by multiple deadly, potentially deadly, dangerous means. Silicone. Somebody put cement in the girl's behind one time. All these different substances that they inject. The implant itself is just, they replace that which doesn't need to be replaced. I don't like my nose. I don't like this African nose I got, man. My nose is too wide. I don't have no pride because my nose is too wide. So now I want to go get the thin. Now my nose look like this pencil. Because I hate myself. And I live in a world that I can replace my nose. I live in a world where I can transform my entire face to where I look like this today, but tomorrow I can look like a totally different being. I can bleach my skin because I want to look white. I don't like the color of my skin. I can lighten my skin. I'm too black. I'm too dark. The scientists of this world, like, I got you. So they manufacture a look and apply that look to a person with low self-esteem. And as we all know, and I'm not being disrespectful to nobody who suffers from that kind of low self-image, because I understand that's the sickness that they suffering from. They don't see themselves the same way that we see them. We say, man, come on, bro, you was beautiful, brother. Sister, you was beautiful. You didn't have to do that. We liked you just how you was. No. See? So they don't see what we see. So I'm not being disrespectful to that mental glitch that they have in their mind just because I can't relate to it. But the reality is that most of the time they end up messing themselves up. Let's just call it for what it is. You don't look better afterwards. You don't. But I liken that to an individual who cuts themselves. You know, you see those young people, they start cutting themselves. They call cutters. You say, well, why are you cutting? Why is she cutting herself like that? There's a self-hate inside of her, but she knows that she's mutilating her skin. But it's in a weird way, it's giving her some kind of satisfaction. So it's something mental going on up there. We live in a world, man, that cheapens everything. You know how old people say, boy, I'm telling you, man, they just don't make stuff like it used to. You hear people say that all the time. They don't make cars like they used to. And they right. I remember when I was growing up, and y'all know I'm your big brother, so I'm a little older than y'all. I'm your big brother. But I remember when the cars would just seem like the cars were made out of solid iron. Who old enough to remember when those cars was like made out of steel, just the outside of the car? Like, you go back and look at some of them old cars from the 60s and the 70s, compared to the material that the cars were made out of. Now that kind of little the plastic-like almost exterior. It's just different. So I don't know if it was cheaper to do it like that. Okay. Let me bring some law and order to this comment section, because what we not gonna do is start getting off subject tonight. So this is what I'm gonna do, y'all. I'm gonna flash back. You know what? I'm not gonna even flash back. I'm just gonna put out the announcement right now. And from this point on, any comments that are not on topic, we're gonna go on the 3-strike rule. If you're in the comments, if you're in the chat talking about something that has nothing to do with what we're talking about now, you're just getting your rocks off. You're just getting your rocks off talking about something that just has nothing to do with the title that you read when you came onto this live. You got a 3-strike rule. I'm merciful. I'm gonna give you 3 strikes. Joseph said, don't let material things get the better of you, especially devil's cutter off. It's just hard to try and be okay with self when you're told that you're inadequate everywhere you go, man. See, Alex J, I'm gonna tell you, I appreciate the realness of that comment. But what you gotta understand, Alex J, because you're right, a lie becomes the truth when it's repeated enough times, see? And repetition, it's like trying to learn the words to a song. Repetition commits it to your memory, see? So when you hear something over and over and over and over and over again, it sticks in your brain, it sticks in your mind, almost to where it becomes a part of you. So the same can be said if you have individuals in your life who are constantly ridiculing you, who are constantly making mockery of you, constantly, like you said, telling you that you're not good enough, that you don't look good, that you're inadequate, that you're weird. Man, you weird. That's a new thing they say. And you weird. Wait, y'all get that from? But what you got to understand, bro, that we come from a creator who makes 0 mistakes. So if you are an individual who believes in a higher power, Alex J, if you believe in a higher power, then you know that higher power makes 0 mistakes. So whatever form you came in, whatever form that he formed you in, was the exact form that you were meant to be in, right? So him being the higher power, look at how I describe this. God is the higher power. He's also the supreme being. Bunch of beings running around here. I'm a being, you're a being. He is the supreme being. And if you are formed and made by the supreme being, then why would you let what one of the regular beings, one of the lesser beings, say about you? Why would you let that affect you? Or not to say why would you let it affect you? Because of course, we human. It would affect us. We got feelings. We're gonna feel some kind of way. But why would you accept that as being truth and fact? Nah, you gotta be stronger than that. You say, hey man, you ain't gotta like the way I look. You ain't gotta like the way I look. I know me. Matter of fact, I'll be like, I just know how I am. I'm gonna find something that's wrong with you. You start talking about me. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Look at your head. That's just the hood in me that will come out. But there's a uniqueness that exists in everybody. Regardless of what people say you look like, one thing that can stand true is that, yeah, okay, guess what? Don't nobody else look like me. There's no other duplicate of me. I'm unique in my creation. People don't like to embrace that. You ever seen some of these models? You got all kinds of different models. You got plus size models. People say, oh, you too fat. You can't be a model. No, they're not. $1 million models. I seen this beautiful sister, this black beautiful woman. She got like light splotches all over her body. Skin about a little darker than mine, but she has like little light patches all in her face, all on her head. But she's a successful model. I forgot her name. Because she had the fortitude. She took her the difference that she had. She took her unique quality and she parlayed and flipped it like, hey man, I'm embracing. I'm different. I'm embrace how I came, how I look. I'm embrace this package that I'm in. You have to embrace the package that you're in, man. Because for those who don't accept you, it's somebody out there that will accept you. And here's the deal. This is what you got to understand. It's not meant for everybody to accept you. You could pick out the most beautiful woman in the world, best looking guy in the world. It's somebody that looks at them and like, oh, they ain't all that. And they really mean that. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Care what you think about me. Watch what I do. And always focus on your ratio. What's your ratio? Your ratio is love, the people that got love for me versus the people that don't. The people that got love for me, that stack is way up here. The people that don't, it's way down there. And I say this all the time. If you got all this love up here, why are you down here arguing with these people? It make no sense. Gotta be stronger than that. We can't revert back to childhood. If I'm in the kindergarten and somebody talk about me, I'm like, said I was ugly. Man, look. Society shapes those types of mindsets because they have created what they claim to be the standard. This is the standard. This is the standard of beauty. Man, look, I've seen some of these magazines and TV shows where they'll say, this is such and such. She was voted the most beautiful woman in the world. I'm like, by who? Because she looked like I ain't gonna say that. We have to grow out of trying to look the part. Forget looking the part. Just be who you are. Nobody can duplicate who you are. I can look at you and see your whole total little image and swag or whatever you call it, and I can admire and say that boy there, he swagged out. I can respect and admire it. That don't mean I'm gonna try to do it. Okay, y'all. So my next album cover, I'm coming out of my next album cover. I'm gonna have on some tight, skinny jeans. I'm gonna have on like a ruffle shirt with the ruffles on it. It's gonna be lavender. I'm gonna dye my hair purple. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Y'all know you receive the greatest results in your life by being your authentic, real self. Y'all cracking up. I got the little strap across the little merce. That's the man purse. You receive the greatest accolades just by being your authentic self, because you are following your nature. You're following who you really are, what's internalized in you. You walking in accordance with that. So it's natural. When you're not walking in accordance with your natural self, it's fraud. It's like you just there. It's like if people see it, and eventually it weighs on you. It weighs on your mind because you got to go home every night and just look in the mirror. Like you got to go home and take all that fakeness off. And I don't mean just physical stuff. You got to take that fakeness off your mind. You've been acting fake and fraud and all day long, all week long, all in the interview, presenting this image. You got to be this image, and it's not even who you are, man. And the more you do it, the more you got to keep doing it, especially if it's working, because you allowed them to manufacture a version of not you, but a version of something else. See? That's too much work. Whole lot easier to just be you. Whole lot easier for me to just be me. The real and the authentic last forever. Don't never die. Even when the individual dies, the essence of who they are and who they were and what they created and what they did, how they lived, what they stood on, it'll never die. And generations adapt to it and pick it up like, man, generations are shaped by it. They evolve into it. Enemies of that realness work diligently to suppress that realness. So there's so many people that lived and died that we never even knew existed because of what they stood for was against the manufactured BS. So it's like, nah, that person dead and gone. And along with them being dead and gone, if we got control over that history, we're going to make sure that nobody knows who this person was. But somebody always digs them up and finds them. So you got an artist who always like to use Tupac as an example. How is it that Tupac is still a household name? Let's see, 1996. Tupac died in 1996, right? That was 26 years ago, coming up, right? I think it's September. So now you have a man who has literally been dead longer than he lived. He was 25 when he died. He'd been dead 26 years. Yet his name, his music, his words, his aura, his essence is still strong because of the authentic nature in which his art was surrounded by, was woven in, right? See? Somebody said Nip was basically the same with Nipsey Hussle. Just a few short years later, people still talking about him because of what he stood on. See, a person who just wants to look the part, to look like they real and look like they just, that person is the equivalent of the image of a cake. But when you cut into the cake, it's hollow on the inside. It's nothing but some icing. It's just structured into an icing shaped as a cake, and you cut it and it's hollow. Compared to cutting that cake and you pull out that big old, you ever cut, how many of y'all done cut a slice of cake and you cut that big old hunk of cake out and it's, ooh, it's heavy. You put it on that paper plate and the paper plate sink down a little bit because that cake got some weight in it. A lot of our artists, unfortunately, don't have that substance, don't have that weight. But they allow the industry, or they craft it themselves. Sometimes it ain't just all the industry. Some people craft their own image. Some people sit around and construct their own, like, man, what can I do? What kind of lick can I make? What kind of image can I make for myself? To make, some people do it themselves, create a fake image of them for themselves, just to try to get in. See? Your work should outlive you. But too many people have outlived their own work. What does that mean? That means that in the time that they are still alive, the things that they did that were great just a few short years ago, people have already forgotten them. He's still alive. He's still walking around. You nobody even remember who you are. Because you outlived your own work. You're not supposed to outlive your work. Your principles, your greatness, that's supposed to outlive you. People are supposed to talk about you for decades and decades and centuries after you're gone. If you were blessed to figure out a way to make an impactful contribution to the world. You ain't gotta be no rapper or no athlete or no to do that. You can do that in your everyday life. People think, well, man, I don't rap. Man, I'm a good school teacher. Might be a doctor, a great doctor, a great scientist, not one of these dirty scientists. Bashard says, got to keep the lie going. It's only so long you can keep a lie going, though. That lie is like a candle. Sooner or later, it runs a course, and them lies trap you in a corner. Don't let people shape you into something that you know that you're not. People will tell you, hey man, I can make you the top executive at this company. You know what they'll say too? You know, one of the real, this is how you know when people tell you, man, you gotta learn how to play the game. Or if somebody ever tell you that you need to learn how to play the game, just walk off. They telling you right now, you gotta learn how to be a sellout. So you don't know how to play the game, bro. So you got to either, that means you either got to be a sellout. They're telling you need to be a sellout, or you just need to be a straight up butt kisser. You will bend over and allow your cheeks to be clapped in order to advance. You got to learn how to play the game. That's the key. See, life ain't no game. I don't got to learn how to play the game because I'm not playing a game. This is real life for me. You play the game. Real Talk says, whatever is real, find it out for yourself. By yourself. Well, I mean, you can't always find it out by yourself, bro. I'm not one of those people who just feel like, because people will say, I don't need guidance from any man. I can learn for myself. I have a brain. All that's true. But everybody receives something from somebody. Even that thought that you said, the concept that you said, well, man, I have my own brain. I can figure this out. Somebody told you that. You heard somebody else say that. Not you. I'm just saying in general, that's how people come about. People come off like everything they know, it just sprinkled down upon them, or they just went into the mountains and sought it out and it was revealed unto them. And nah, we all learn from other men, other women, other ideologies, other readings, other works of different people. We are all influenced. We can't sit there and tell that lie, man. Like nobody ever taught you or influenced you directly or indirectly. We can't tell that lie. I follow no man. I don't follow no man. You ain't the first one to say it. That's what you heard another man say. They don't follow no man. That's what made you say it. So you followed somebody. Mike says, I wish your rap made world headlines. My raps did make world headlines. You know why? You know why? Because most of the people in this chat right now, y'all not from my city. Y'all are in all different parts of the country and the world. So that means my music has made world headlines. The lines are in y'all head in different parts of the world. So that's world headlines. My lines entered your head in your part of the world. See? Drop y'all locations, man. Let me know where y'all at, man. Hit the like button if you haven't. Derek Smith said, you and Willie D song, You Still a Nigga, made it, said a lot, big bro. Yeah, no doubt. 30 years ago, we made that song, 1992. Dead TV says, I think everyone is authentic until the man gets a hold of them. Well, a lot of people are. Some people come in the game fake as a $4 bill. um, dead TV. Some people come in wanting to sell out. Some people want it so bad, bro, you'll be surprised. Some people want it so bad, they looking for a way to bend over and sell out. Trust me. I saw a guy, man, I ain't gonna say it. But trust me, people are willing to do anything. They want to sell out. Drop y'all locations, man. Let me get out y'all way. Now, Golden, you here. Better late than never. You can always go back and listen to the thing. Fresno, California, London, Las Vegas, AK, USA, San Diego. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm all over the world, man. Y'all with me. Murderpedia says some will wear masks their entire life because they care about what other people think, while others remove the mask to be who they truly are. Yeah, that mask is symbolic. I understand. You're absolutely right. It's a facade. You're putting on a face, and they're not happy. Wisconsin, Jail, Texas, from H-Town. Born in H-Town, moved to Jail, Texas. Beham up in this thing, Wisconsin. Granville, Australia. Porter, Texas. South Granville, Kingston, Pennsylvania, Cleveland, Ohio, Cascadia, Georgia, Berlin, Germany. See, we're all over the world. See, we're making headlines. Killeen, Texas, Finland, Lake Charles. See? H-Town up in this thing, man. Don't be fooled by the flash, man. They will present money. They will present anybody or anything, and they will back and push out anything that they have molded into being non-threatening to the establishment, and they will reject or block anything that is threatening to the establishment, is relatable to the people, is positively transformative in terms of the minds of the people, that's real and organic and authentic. They oppose that, and they try to create a wall between you and that, because you lose control when you got an unapologetic, unbending individual, whether it be an activist, politician, which ain't too many of them that got that mindset, an artist, an athlete. They instantly attack you and want to go after you and change you and tell you that you are a problem, and label you to the public as being a problem, when you bring attention to the problems, the real problems. They only want what they made to be out. I made you like a pimp in a hoe. I condition your mind, and I put you out on the track. You go out there and prostitute yourself and bring me back the money, because I made you. All right, man. Much love, y'all. I'll catch y'all later on. Peace.